Hey Ryan, still there?
Yeah, I've been on hold for...
Sorry about the wait. We're coming back from commercial now. You're up next.
Okay, it's about time.
Oh, and Ryan, try not to keep Mr. Cadera too long. We have other people trying to get on with him, you know? Okay? Ryan?
Fine.
Alright, here we go.
Welcome, friends, old and new. If you're just tuning in, you've probably done so by accident to Circle City Supernatural. I'm your host, Ray Cadera. We're almost to the top of the hour now and still knee-deep in the open line segment of the program. So, let's get back to the phones. To a young man who's been holding for some time now. Let's see here. Up next is Ryan Tolliver. Ryan, are you there?
Yes. Yes, I'm here.
Well, hello to you.
Yeah, and thanks. I appreciate you taking the time.
Well, of course, Ryan, that's why we're here.
Do you remember... Sorry, I'm just,
It's quite all right. Take your time. And if it puts your nerves at ease, you're being heard only by a handful of people at this hour.
There was a bunch of grave robberies around town a few months ago. Do you remember that?
Yes, of course I do. Then they suddenly stopped, thank God. Now, Ryan, if you have information about those responsible...
I don't know anything about who was doing it. No, I was a groundskeeper at the cemetery. I found the last one that was dug up.
I see.
If you read the papers, you know that nothing but the body was taken by whoever was doing it.
Right. Even the clothes were torn off and left.
Yes, and anything buried with the body.
Okay. You still there, Ryan?
I am. Sorry. Maybe I should call the police.
Why?
Because I'm about to admit to a crime.
What's that?
I was alone that morning at the cemetery. I opened the gates and was doing my rounds when I saw it. The disturbed grave. I couldn't believe it. I mean, you hear stuff like that, but to actually see it... I went over to have a look. The casket, it looked like it'd been clawed out of the earth. I was just about to get on the phone with my boss, but I saw something laying nearby. A box with a chain around it. It had been buried with the body. And I thought there might be valuables in it, so I took the box. Stashed it in the back of my truck before I notified anyone else about the grave. Anyway, I took the thing home. I cut the chain off. I thought for sure there was going to be gold or diamonds, something an old miser would think worth taking to the grave. Oh, but I was in for a surprise.
What was in it?
It wasn't really a box at all. It didn't hold anything. It was instead a case. A case for a machine.
What kind of machine?
I didn't know. I'd never seen anything like it. There was an old photograph with it, but I wasn't sure what to make of that either. It looked like it'd been taken in a cemetery, and there was this dark figure in the picture. Really creepy. The photographer's name was on the back, though. Frederick Hardesty. It was the same name on the headstone of the grave. Whatever the device was, the dead man had made it. So I researched him. It turns out he was once Dr. Friedrich Volkenhorst, a Nazi scientist captured after World War II and put to work for the US government. What he did for them is still top secret, but obviously Hardesty invented on his own time as well. I also found out that he spent a couple of years in an asylum. He died not long after being released, and I'm not sure why he had the machine buried with him. Maybe it was his prized possession, or maybe he knew how dangerous it was, but just couldn't bring himself to destroy it. I think he built the thing before being committed. I think he was driven insane by the lantern.
The what?
According to his photograph, that's what he called it. The lantern.
So what did it do?
Imagine there's another world all around us that we can't see because it's in a kind of darkness. Well, the lantern can cast a light into this darkness.
Another world?
Well, not really another world, more like the rest of our world. The lantern illuminates like another dimension or something, and lets you see the creatures that live there, here, right beside us.
With this device, you could see ghosts?
Well, I thought so, and I almost took the thing right back to the cemetery where I found it, to test it out like Hardesty did. But then I thought of another use for it. I took it to Old Scratch Creek.
Why there?
Well, I went there a lot in my younger days with my best friend. It's where he drowned. We'd been drinking and being stupid. He went for a swim. tried to save him, but I couldn't.
Ryan, I'm very sorry. I'm sure you did all you could.
I should have done more. Anyway, I thought maybe he might still be there, you know? People say that the spirits of the dead linger around the places they died. I thought if I could see him, talk to him, I could say I'm sorry. I thought his forgiveness would give me some kind of peace. Aside from flipping the switches, I didn't really know how to operate the lantern. But I've since figured out that when the lid is open, the machine's output radiates freely. But when the lid is closed, the output is concentrated through the aperture into a beam, so that you can focus its power on a specific place. That must have been why Hardesty called it the lantern. It functioned the exact same way. I also found out that the light it shines is as invisible as the realm it illuminates. I guess I was expecting a spotlight or something. Anyway, nothing happened immediately, but I knew I had to give it time. And time I gave it. I waited and waited. Hours went by and still nothing. Then, finally, something began to show through. And whatever the thing was, it scared me. I've never seen anything like it.
You mean it wasn't him?
No, it wasn't. I was looking directly at a creature typically invisible, and when it looked back at me, the thing knew I could see it. And the monster didn't like that. I should have realized earlier from Hardesty's photograph. The Nazi had gone looking for ghosts, but found some phantom of death.
What happened then?
I ran.
And the machine, did you destroy it?
I nearly did, but then I realized I needed the device to confirm that the creature was with me. I could feel its presence, even if I couldn't see it. I knew the thing had followed me from the creek that day, and it's been with me ever since. I tried to outrun it. I've driven all over the state, and every time I stop, I switch on the lantern, see if the creature's still there, and it always is. Always. It's driving me insane. I realized I couldn't escape it, so I stopped trying. I've been holed up in this motel for a week now. I think it's been that long. It's hard to remember. I can't think straight. I'm not myself. I even shaved my head a couple of days ago, and I don't know why. That's crazy, right? I had to be rid of the thing, but I didn't know how. I was losing my mind, and my soul was going next. I cried out for help. Then something new happened, just tonight.
What happened?
There's two of them now, and they're fighting. Still going at it in front of the motel. I think they're fighting over me. The new one. It's not like the other one. It's the opposite. Maybe it's like what church people say about angels and demons.
Which do you think will win?
I don't know. I'm terrified to turn the device back on to find out. But I have to. If I make it to the morning, I'm gonna change. To turn my life around. I need forgiveness, but not from the dead.
Well, Ryan, that's quite a story, and I appreciate you sharing it with us.
Please don't hang up. I called your show because you're the only ones who would listen.
I'm sorry, we have to take a commercial break.
Wait, I'm about to turn on the machine. I don't want to be alone when I do. Even if you're not really here, please, stay on the line for just another minute.